Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for next week. Taylor's health crisis and romance brewing. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for next week tease that Taylor's medical issues may come to light. After Ridge, Thorsten K. sees Taylor collapse, he attempts to get her help. Will this be the way her family finds out about her heart failure? Meanwhile, it seems another Forrester Creations relationship is brewing. Hope, Annika Noel, and Carter, Lawrence St. Victor, were flirty, and there may be a connection in the works. A new addition to the Forrester Creations team is setting up some rivalry in the younger adult scene. As fall comes barreling in November sweeps just weeks away, the writers are setting the stage for the hot-button storylines that will take us through the biggest months for soaps. Here's what's happening next week on The Bold and the Beautiful. Taylor has an episode on the heels of catching a moment between Ridge and Brooke, Catherine Kelly Lang. Ridge ran to her, but it seemed she was unconscious. Will this be how Taylor dies? Don't count on it. Taylor likely won't be going anywhere until November sweeps, and even then, we aren't sure the writers won't find a way to save her. However, this episode will lead to more questions about her health, which will have Ridge and Steffi, Jacqueline Mithinswood, worried about her. Hope is still reeling from her connection to Finn, Tanner Novlin, but a new suitor may be in the works for the single Logan lady. Friday's episode teased a pairing between Hope and Carter. It will likely be explored, as she needs to put her focus off of Finn and into something else. The relationship could shake things up, and seeing Hope paired with someone powerful at Forrester could change things for her. Will they pursue an office romance, or will it be more of a hot and heavy affair that keeps Hope busy and out of Steffi's way? Will Krumaro is ready to shake things up in the young adult scene, and the writers are setting him up to compete with RJ, Joshua Hoffman. He has decided to work with Katie, Heather Tom, at Forrester, which begs the question of how Bill, Don Diamond, will react to the news when he finds out. Spencer Publications is where Bill's sons work, and Will is the first who hasn't followed in their footsteps. Be sure to tune in all next week so not a moment of the juicy drama is missed. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, the Forrester family faces an unexpected turn of events as Taylor Hayes, the beloved psychiatrist, encounters a health crisis that shakes everyone to their core. Meanwhile, romance is in the air as new and old flames begin to brew beneath the surface, adding more complexity to the already tangled web of relationships in Los Angeles. Taylor's health crisis. A shocking discovery. The week starts with Taylor appearing as vibrant and composed as ever. She's been dedicating herself to helping Steffi recover emotionally from her breakup with Finn, while also lending a listening ear to Thomas, who has been wrestling with his tumultuous feelings for Hope. But while Taylor is focused on her children, it's clear she's been neglecting her own well-being. A subtle moment of dizziness and fatigue catches her off guard during a conversation with Ridge. She brushes it off as stress-related, but her close friend and confidant, Brooke, notices something is amiss. Brooke may be Taylor's rival in love, but she knows Taylor well enough to sense when something isn't right. When Taylor insists she's just overworked, Brooke advises her to see a doctor, something Taylor stubbornly refuses to do at first. As the week progresses, Taylor's symptoms worsen. During a particularly emotional session with Steffi, she suddenly faints, leaving Steffi in a state of panic. Ridge, who's been rekindling his connection with Taylor on a deeper level lately, rushes to the hospital when Steffi calls him, her voice shaky with fear. The doctors run tests, and Taylor's family anxiously waits for answers. Ridge, torn between his deep concern for Taylor and the unresolved feelings he harbors for her, finds himself staying by her bedside. Steffi and Thomas, equally terrified, lean on each other for support. But it's clear they're both afraid of losing the strong maternal figure who's always been their rock. By the end of the week, the doctor's diagnosis is revealed, and it's a shocking one. Taylor has a heart condition that could have serious consequences if not treated immediately. This health crisis throws the Forresters into a whirlwind of emotions, forcing them to reassess their relationships and priorities. Ridge, in particular, starts to question whether he's ready to let Taylor slip away from his life, romantically and otherwise. Taylor, ever the brave woman, tries to reassure her loved ones, but there's an underlying fear in her eyes. This health scare opens the door for deep introspection, not only for Taylor, but for those closest to her. The question remains, will this be the event that finally brings Taylor and Ridge back together, or will it drive them further apart? Romance brewing. Unexpected sparks. While Taylor's health crisis dominates the family's thoughts, romance is also blooming in unexpected places. As Taylor recovers in the hospital, her bond with Ridge grows stronger, but elsewhere in Los Angeles, hearts are stirring and new connections are forming. Paris and Zend. Paris has been focusing on her career at Forrester Creations, but her personal life has been relatively quiet since her breakup with Zend. However, a chance encounter between the two at a charity event reignites old sparks. Zenda has always had feelings for Paris, and seeing her again stirs up emotions he thought he had put to rest. Paris, on the other hand, finds herself drawn back to Zenda's warmth and sincerity. They share a heartfelt conversation, reminiscing about the good times they had. As the week unfolds, Paris starts to question whether ending things with Zenda was a mistake. Zend, meanwhile, is determined to show her that he's still the man who can make her happy. Their chemistry is undeniable, and it becomes clear that these two are far from over. Could this be the start of a romantic reunion for Paris and Zend, or will something, or someone, stand in their way? Carter and Katie. Carter Walton, fresh off the drama of his roller coaster relationship with Quinn, has been trying to move forward, focusing on his career. But when he crosses paths with Katie Logan during a business meeting at Forrester Creations, there's an undeniable tension between them. Katie, who has been keeping her distance from Bill, finds herself intrigued by Carter's charm and genuine nature. As they work closely on a project, sparks fly, and by midweek, Carter and Katie share a candid conversation about love, trust, and heartbreak. Katie, who has been burned by Bill one too many times, appreciates Carter's honesty and straightforwardness. Carter, in turn, is drawn to Katie's strength and vulnerability. By the week's end, they find themselves on the brink of something more than just friendship. However, with Bill still lurking in the background, Carter may need to fight to win Katie's heart. And given Katie's history with Bill, she'll need to decide whether she's truly ready to move on from her tumultuous past and give love another chance with Carter. Thomas and Hope. Meanwhile, Thomas and Hope's complicated relationship takes another turn. After months of working together at Forrester Creations and co-parenting Douglas, they've built a fragile but significant bond. However, with Taylor's health crisis unfolding, Thomas is emotionally vulnerable, and Hope finds herself stepping in to comfort him. Liam, always wary of Thomas, begins to grow suspicious of their closeness. He knows Thomas has lingering feelings for Hope, and he's concerned that the stress of Taylor's condition could push Thomas to act on them. By the end of the week, an innocent moment between Thomas and Hope, perhaps a comforting hug or a shared late-night conversation, leaves Liam feeling even more unsettled. While Hope is convinced that her relationship with Thomas is strictly professional, the tension between them hints at something more. Could this emotional vulnerability lead to an unexpected romantic turn, or will it simply create more chaos in their already complicated lives? Final thoughts. Next week on The Bold and the Beautiful, we'll bring intense drama, heartfelt moments, and the possibility of new love. As Taylor's health crisis unfolds, the Forresters will have to come together to support her, and the emotional stakes will rise. With romance brewing between Paris and Zend, Carter and Katie, and the ever-complicated dynamic between Thomas and Hope, there's no shortage of passion and intrigue on the horizon. Buckle up for a week of heartache, healing, and the ever-present possibility of love.